Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Today's conversation felt really easy. I'm chatting with Julie DeLucca-Collins, a confidence coach, author, and fellow podcaster, and we connected right away over confidence, career pivots, and what it really means to trust yourself. We talk about why so many capable women forget how much they already bring to the table, why you're never really starting over, and how community and sisterhood change everything. This is one of those conversations that's honest, encouraging, and grounding. Pour a drink, get comfortable, and let's dig in. Here is Julie DeLucca-Collins.
Thank you so much for being here and for having me.
Absolutely. I'm grateful to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are you in the world, Penny?
I am in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, I know Sarasota. I have
Yes.
friends in Sarasota.
Oh,
Well, throughout
nice.
Florida. I went to high school in Miami.
Okay. Wonderful. Where are you now?
I'm in New England. My dad is from New York. I lived in New York for many years after college and ended up marrying my husband about 13 years ago and moved here to Connecticut.
Connecticut. Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So Julie, for my audience, would you tell us a little bit about you? Give us your name and what you're passionate about and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Julie DeLucca-Collins, and I am just passionate about life. There is a word that I'd like to refer to. It's a word in Finnish, and the word is sisu. And it really is about that deep emotional connection to life, right? It's about having a little bit of grit and grace. And I think that that really describes my life. I started my career as a teacher, then moved on to work in corporate America, still in education, and grew through the company ranks. And one of the things that I found is that women in particular, gifted, intelligent, strong women, really doubted themselves. And the more that I ascended to different leadership positions, I just felt like I wanted to see more women there. And I'm incredibly passionate about supporting them and helping them just know how great they are and build the confidence that it takes to take the next step. And I combine that with that whole concept of sisu because the grit comes from within us and it comes from the support and the mindfulness and the community that we surround ourselves with.
You are my people.
Yay, I love finding my people.
Yes, exactly. It's so true. I was in the corporate realm for quite a while too, and I loved it. I loved the people I worked with, loved solving problems for people, bringing people together. But the more I reflect on things, not just from the corporate world, but from, all through the jobs that I had, it's set up in a masculine energy. It's set up in a competitive hustle and grind culture. And you don't get ahead unless you get your piece. You get your piece of the pie.
That's
and
right.
Yeah, the more I work with women, I mean, we're resourceful. We'll make more pie.
We'll make more pie. I know. And if we can't make it, we'll find the person who makes it and say, come and make it with me.
Exactly. Collaborations and support. When we work together, it's just magic.
Absolutely. And that really, warms my heart. I toyed with the idea of going out on my own. I was already doing some corporate coaching and mentoring at some of the universities here in Connecticut. And I was still afraid, despite how confident I may seem, I was still afraid and unsure and didn't know what that would look like. And of course, the universe took care of it. The universe said, well, we're going to have a pandemic. You're going to be laid off, and that's going to be the time for you to start. And that's how I launched my business. I started Go Confidently Services to be able to work with women individuals, whether it be in a corporate arena or in the entrepreneurship space, and really help them build the brand, the voice, and create the life that they imagine confidently, one brave step at a time.
Wonderful. How do you go about doing that?
Amazing. So, first of all, I am a teacher at heart. So,
Uh-huh.
anytime that I work with individuals, whether it be working in a corporate space or when people come to me, we really do an assessment first. I think that it's really important to, number one, be able to see where you are. What are the things that you're looking to do when we really create a vision? Are you living the vision for your life? If not, what does it look like? And what are the skills and what are the gifts that you already have that you've acquired? Because all of us kind of walk through life and put things in our backpack and we're carrying, and we don't see that they can be of use for us in the next thing that we do. So once we meet for that initial strategic conversation, we begin to build the steps. I'm a very strategic person, so I'd like to, number one, once we have the vision, number two, be able to see, okay, what are your values? And do your values and your time align with
Mm.
what your vision is? Because what we
Mm-hmm.
do today is really paving the way for us to go in whatever direction we're going. So we
Absolutely.
specifically look at time management. We start to look at, okay, this is your goal or this is where you want to be in a year. Well, what does it take to do that? And how do we break that down into smaller and more manageable steps? And of
Mm-hmm.
course, once we create that plan, we work the plan. And my goal is to not only be the cheerleader, but that accountability person that comes
Mm.
alongside of us. And
So important.
yeah, to
Mm-hmm.
hopefully give you an easy button because I've made the mistakes.
Right,
And then
right.
this way you can take, say, the benefit of my mistakes and be the lessons that you then
Mm-hmm.
carry with you to get to where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many women that I work with too. I mean, we get so busy putting one foot in front of the other, doing
Hmm.
everything for everyone else,
Yeah.
serving our family, going to work, just one foot in front of the other every day, day after day. And we lose that spark. We forget what we're good
Yeah.
at. We
Hmm.
forget that we've juggled all these things and have managed this whole entire our family, our
Yeah.
schedules. We've got all these skills. And a lot of the women I work with too say, "Oh, I'm starting over." You're never
No, not at
starting
all.
over.
Never.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
bring with you all of the experience you've had, all of the skills that you've built. You know,
Mhm.
managing a family, you can manage a corporation, you
That's
know?
right. Oh, 100%. And I think that that's one of the things that I noticed. I had a girlfriend actually, and this is really when I was starting to move to do my own thing. And
Mm-hmm.
she had been married for over 25 years and less than ideal situation, very abusive
Mm.
relationship. And but she ran a household of 7 kids, and
Oh
a
my
couple of
gosh.
them had some additional deficiencies and they were
Mm-hmm.
special needs students, and she navigated psychologists and schools and of course ran this household, ran around, got her kids and her oldest into college, into
Mm.
Ivy League schools. And when
Wow.
she was getting ready to leave and she needed to get a job, she said, I think I'm going to get a job at a grocery store. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I
No.
questioned her and I said, you used to be a director for, I forgot the insurance company that she was in. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, yeah, but I could never go back. I haven't been out in the corporate
Mm.
environment for so long. And we started to go through all of the things that she does or she did at the time for her
Mm-hmm.
family, the planning, the scheduling, the appointments, the advocating, the volunteering at the schools.
Mm.
And she realized that all of these skills were very transferable to something else.
Absolutely. Yeah, and not necessarily even for someone else. You know, so
Right.
many women think that they have to work for someone else
That's
because they
right.
don't have the vision or they don't not necessarily don't even have the vision, but they don't have the belief in
Hmm.
themselves. They
Hmm.
don't believe that they're worthy of that bigger thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I think that that's one of the things that on my podcast, it's Casa de Confidence. And I often talk about a concept that I learned from a friend of mine. She was reading the book Running with the Wolves. And there's a concept in there in which they talk about becoming each other's believing mirrors. And ever since
Mm.
then, I talk about that all the time. And that's really what I aim to do is to be the believing mirror for the woman who at times is questioning, who am I? What am
Mm-hmm.
I doing? Am I enough? And
Mm.
can I cut it? And we need to have these mirrors that see that other sides of us that we are so harsh on ourselves, and
Mm.
then
Mm-hmm.
remind us and reflect on us those gifts. And yeah, I love that. And I know that the community that I've built does that for each other, in which we
Mm-hmm.
remind each other of the goodness, the strength, the capabilities, and also, you know, what we can do if we really put ourselves and take that brave move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so easy to see it in our friends.
Hmm.
It's so easy to lift and support our friends. But then when
Yeah.
we talk to ourselves, we're down. We
Yeah.
discredit what we've done.
Hmm.
One of the best exercises I think that you can do is to reach out to like three or four of your
Yeah.
girlfriends. Ask
Love
them, what do
that.
you think I'm good at? What
Hmm.
would you come to me for if if you needed something,
Yep.
whatever, what would that be?
That's right. A
So
hundred percent. A hundred
yeah.
percent. Yeah. I love that. And I think that we think, well, I don't know. I don't want to bother people. But listen, this is what really people love to do, is to really be able to maybe give you the insight that
Hmm.
you haven't seen. And I know that my girlfriends have done that for myself. And
Hmm.
hopefully we can continue to do that in communities that we're building.
If they came to you, you would do it in a heartbeat. You would
Of
love to
course.
support them in that way.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Julie. So you started your business, your coaching career in during COVID, during
Hmm.
the pandemic.
Yeah. So I was laid off. It was March 24th, 2020.
Mm.
And it was shocking because, again, my role with the organization that I worked with was a national educational company
Hmm.
based out of New York. My role was Chief Innovation Officer for the organization. So I oversaw all of our business development and operations throughout the
Mm.
country. And we definitely had gone into lockdown. We definitely were trying to navigate having all of our programs be kind of shut down. And I
Hmm.
thought, this is what I do best, is kind of figuring out what's next and forging partnerships. And when I received a call from the COO, and again, someone who had been my colleague for many years, and I knew something was wrong, and he said, "I've been laid off." And of course, my brain immediately went to, what? Okay. Well, don't worry about it. My God, you're so strong. You're so smart. Look at you. You're able to do this. And I started to go down the list of all the things. And you know what? I'm going to call so and so. They probably need someone. And then all of a sudden, as I'm talking, I thought, wait a minute. This is our COO. I'm the chief innovation. I'm the
Uh-huh.
CIO. I,
You're another C-suite.
maybe. So then I said, you know what? Let me call you back. I need to call our CEO. And I texted him and I said, hey, I'm on the phone with so and so, and he's just letting me know that he's been laid off. Am I next?
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, you see the little dots on the phone, and then I thought, okay,
Here we go.
here we go. And there was a level of relief in some ways
Yeah.
because I'd already been trying to figure out how to go out on my own. I knew that it was time. I knew that I'd been working at something, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And of course,
Hmm.
the imposter syndrome, and of course the fear of, oh,
Hmm.
my friends are going to think I'm crazy. I'm leaving a six-figure salary to go and do what, right?
Hmm.
Um, but once I heard the news, I thought, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Mm.
And for me, it wasn't until maybe later on that night that it hit me, and I started to grieve because I had been
Hmm.
with that organization for a long time. The founder of the company was someone who I admired tremendously. She was someone who was my friend, my mentor, and sadly had passed away in 2019. And
Mm.
the reason or 2018 rather, and the reason I stayed with the company was because I wanted to help continue to take her legacy further.
Mm.
But I also knew that the direction the company was going was not necessarily the place where she would have liked to have gone.
Mm. Hmm.
So I was at odds in many different ways. And that was one of the reasons that going out on my own, excuse me, was attractive to me, because I knew that I could call the shots. Not that I didn't call the shots in a position of leadership, but it's different when you're doing
Oh,
it for
yeah.
yourself.
Very different.
It's very, very different.
Hmm.
And I knew that that's where I wanted to go. And of course, there was a period of grieving, but it was
Mm-hmm.
also a period of excitement, sort of that newlywed type of excitement where you're trying all kinds of different things. And
Butterflies.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was a really fun experience. And of course, I've been so fortunate and blessed. My husband has been incredibly supportive throughout the
Mm-hmm.
process. He came alongside of me, and even now, he is my business partner in addition to
Oh,
being
nice.
my life partner. He was the one who, a month into being on my own, and of course, I thought this pandemic thing was only going to last a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But he is
Yeah.
the one who got me podcasting equipment because I had been planning a big milestone birthday party for me in April, and of course that was not going to happen, Penny. So
Yeah.
he said, "You're starting a podcast. You've talked about this for a long time.
Oh
Don't
my
worry
gosh.
about the tech. I will do that for you."
Oh gosh.
I will do the
Oh, how
tech, you
fabulous.
do the talking. And that's how we got started. We started Casa de Confidence, and the rest is history. The rest
Ah,
is here we are, top 2% of podcasts. We continue to have some incredible individuals, and I've learned so much from the guests, but it's giving me an outlet to talk about the things that are important to me and talk about the thing that I feel at times people misunderstand, and that's confidence.
mm-hmm.
And now, of course, not only do I get to do what I love, but the side of podcasting has grown tremendously as well because my husband now has a full production company in
Oh my
which he
goodness.
helps women like me who are in a
Yeah.
position and have a message
Wow.
to get their message out there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
and so often those things that they smack you in the face, you've lost in quotes your
yep.
job, but then it in the moment it seems like, oh my gosh, this horrible thing, and how am I
hmm
going to survive it and whatever. And then it leads, you never know
Yeah.
to what. And it
Oh,
always
yeah.
becomes something beautiful.
It has, and I think of all of the dreams that I had kind of punted, right? Oh, someday.
Yes,
And we
exactly.
do that. We do that so much. And being able to, yes, was it scary? Was it hard? Did I
Mm-hmm.
fail at times in the business? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be honest if I didn't say there weren't some times in the very beginning where I thought, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Maybe I should go get a job, or what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
All of that has happened.
Doubts. Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, you got to remind yourself, who is it that I want to become? And what does that look like? If I want to become
Mm-hmm.
that person, what does she do today? Right. And that has allowed me to then go after some of the things that I've always wanted to do: write a book, launch a podcast, do a TED talk, right? All of
Mm-hmm.
these things have been the things that have come about because I was willing to be uncomfortable. I was willing to be afraid.
Yes.
I was willing to do it imperfectly. And
Mm-hmm.
also say, I need help and find the
Mm.
people around me that can help me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Julie, our journeys are so very similar. Yeah.
Isn't it? It's amazing. And
Oh
we
my
need to talk
gosh.
about these, Penny, because if
Yeah.
we don't, and that's really the story, right? We we may not see somebody that has exactly what we want. We
Mm-hmm.
may see someone that maybe is three, four, or five times removed, and it's very difficult to actually see that it's possible. But we
Mm-hmm.
begin that comparisonitis, we begin to see, oh, well, they have it all together. No,
Mm-hmm.
we need to talk about what our journeys have been like so that
Yeah.
other people who are maybe thinking of taking that brave step, they can do it.
Yep. I'm so much in line with that. But I had wanted to start my podcast for years too,
hmm
and just kept kicking the can down the road. I let
Yeah.
busyness get in the way,
Mm,
you know, always something
yeah.
would delay it.
hmm
And the technology, the fear of all of the
Oh,
things
God,
you
yeah.
don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so
I'm
grateful that I
familiar
finally
with that.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, it's totally okay if you're not great at it. I
You're
think
not
about
going to be
all
great
the
at it.
you're not going to be
Anything
great
you
at it.
start.
And listen, and by the way, even when you've been doing something and you can start doing it again, and it's not going to
Mhm.
be perfect, I'm doing a little experiment because I come across many women that are working with us, whether it be for the consulting coaching side, but also the podcasting side. And many of
Mhm.
them are really uncertain, and many of them really second guess themselves. And they'll say, "Oh, it was easy for you
Mm.
because your husband helped. It was easy for you
Oh
because
gosh.
whatever, right? Fill in the blank." So I
Yeah.
decided, you know what? I'm gonna prove that it's not that it's not easy or that it's easy, but it's just doing the thing and showing up. So
Yeah.
about a month ago, I launched a second podcast, and it's an experiment. I'm not having my husband help or any of the team members that we have help with
Uh-huh.
any of it. I'm doing it all myself. I launched it, I researched it, I did the cover art myself, which I kind of roll my eyes at it. Um, but I decided that I was launching it's a daily podcast, which is a very
Oh,
big
wow.
undertaking. And it's
Uh-huh.
just what I call little shots of confidence for your day, right? 5, 10
Mhm.
minutes maybe. And I decided I'm going to grow the podcast just
Mhm.
organically. I'm going to do all the things that I tell clients they need to do to grow their show. I'm going to show you when I'm failing, show you when I'm winning, show you
Mhm.
when I'm struggling, and what are the things that I do also to make it easy on myself? So we're 26 days in, and it's a really fun journey.
Well, good.
Yep.
It just sounds that's authentic, and we crave that. We want to
Mm,
see the
yeah.
real, the raw, all of it.
Oh, 100%. I've been really fortunate. Of course, I listened to Pat Flynn for many years, and I still work with him. I'm part of his community, and I've seen him do this so many different times. And
Mhm.
last year, he launched a brand new YouTube channel. And of course, he's been around the online industry, online marketplace for years, and he has millions of downloads on his podcast. He has thousands,
Mm.
hundreds and thousands of people follow him on YouTube in both of his channels. And he launched a third one. And I saw him do it imperfectly. He didn't tell people he had done this for
Uh-huh.
about 6 months. But then he went back and he showed you. He's like, it wasn't about, doing the thing and how many, how do I get to number one so fast? It was more about all I'm going to do is put one video up, next
Mhm.
video, next video. And that's really the mentality that I have with this podcast. I'm not worrying about, the downloads yet. I'm not worrying about how is this, growing. I'm worrying about all I'm trying to do is do one more show and release
Mhm.
one more show and learning along the way. And everything that I learned, then it's stuff that I turn around and share with others.
Mhm. Yeah, that's important. I feel like for
Mhm.
me, if I keep my clients in mind, the women that I'm serving, when I
Mhm.
think about what they need, that keeps me going.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and you mentioned too, what would your future self want what do you
Yeah.
want your future to
Yep.
look like? I feel like our future self already knows.
Hmm.
And she knows that we're so close. She knows,
Yeah.
but are you serving her? Are you putting
Hmm.
that one foot in front of the other for her? Are you
Yeah.
doing what she would want you to do so that you can live that life that you want, that she knows is
Yep.
there?
Hmm.
Just
I
picturing that.
so agree with that. The future self has been definitely a concept that has helped me tremendously. I was listening to Jen Hatmaker's new book. I don't know if you're familiar with Jen
Mm-mm.
Hatmaker, but I've been following her for a while. And was, she just went through a very public divorce. She's been an online blogger for many years. And of course, she was in the personal development space and in the Christian leadership side. And when she went through this very public divorce, people
Mm.
really crucified her. But one of the things that she was talking about, and it's totally resonated with me, is this whole concept of um, she started, she had two gens, she said, morning gen and evening gen.
Huh.
And the evening gen would do the things that morning gen needed. And it's so funny
Oh.
because I do that all the time at night. I may be really tired. I may
Mm-hmm.
be ready for bed. And I say, Julie, tomorrow morning, Julie tomorrow morning is going to appreciate that coffee being made. It's going to appreciate the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen being clean. The one who is going to wake up and not have the residue of old makeup, it's going to be so grateful. So I love that concept. My future
Yeah.
self, and in the morning, sometimes I get up, I'm like, thank you, Julie, for making coffee last night. I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
you because
Thanks for
those are the
picking up
little
the
things that,
kitchen. Yeah.
yeah, those are the things that make a big impact, and yet we discount them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had never really put that kind of story
Yeah.
to it, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Laying out your
Mhm.
clothes for the next day, just planning
Yeah,
out what tasks are most important for the next day, all of
that's
those
right.
little things.
Absolutely. That's really how it rolls. And we don't, we tend to live life in what I call that white noise of life. It's
Mm-hmm.
just there,
Busyness.
busyness. We allow it to kind of just take us in this automation. And when we kind of step back and say, okay, let me take a look. What am I doing? Is that how I really want to spend my time? Is this serving me? Is this making me that person who I want to be in the future? Is it getting me closer to where I want to be in life too?
Mm-hmm. So important. And
Yeah.
is it serving my people?
Is it serving my people? I know. I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
the other piece of it that we can ask.
Mm-hmm. Julie, tell us about your book or books.
Sure. So the book is called Confident You: Simple Habits to Live the Life You Have Imagined. And really, again, my business is called Go Confidently Services. And the quote from Henry David Thoreau, go confidently in the direction of your dreams, has been what has inspired everything. That's been my life mantra forever. Um, but when I started to write the book, I really wanted to share the story of my grandmother because she was incredibly instrumental. She was a very successful, independent woman in a time where you didn't see a lot of women in
Mm-hmm.
the forefront. And as I started to write it, I realized that it hasn't only been her that has been incredibly instrumental in my life. All of the habits that I have, the things that have made me successful, are things that I learned from other women in their own journey to confidence. These habits that they had are those simple habits that help them get the level of confidence to find the success in life. And I thought, not everybody is going to meet someone like my boss who passed away, right? Nobody, not everybody is going to
Mm-hmm.
meet someone like my late mother-in-law as well. But these women, in their own right, created an impact in me that now I share with others. So every chapter is, I wouldn't call it a memoir of my life, but it's really just a glimpse into different times and periods of my life and how
Mm-hmm.
that woman came alongside of me, helped me create a new habit, taught me something that had worked for them, and how it had helped them, and now how it helps me. And of course,
Mm.
because there's a teacher part of me still, at the end of the book, every chapter has a journal prompt in which it lets you
Nice.
explore for yourself. So you're not just reading about it, you can decide how you can incorporate what you just read about in your own life and do it as a takeaway. So
Mm-hmm.
there's 12 different chapters, and there is one chapter in which there is a man in the book, and that is my dad, who again was, we were very close, and he is
Mm.
the person who introduced me to the Henry Thoreau quote because he
Oh,
loved Henry David Thoreau. So,
nice.
yeah.
Tell me about your mom.
My mom and my dad divorced when I was 5, and I definitely was more like my dad than I was my mom. And I was very close to her mom. And I think we, that my mom has always been the person that I can count on. It's been the person that, is that safety that only a mom can give you. But it's a complicated relationship too, Penny, because
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm very different. I'm very much like my dad, also very much
Okay.
like my grandmother. And I think that there's that friction that
Uh-huh.
different of personalities creates. When we were living in Florida, during my high school years, she was a single
Mm-hmm.
mom, and being the oldest, I helped her a lot, and I wanted
Okay.
to kind of take away from her some of the, I think, burdens of being a single mom and working hard and doing all the
Mm,
things. Now, the one thing is she also inspired the journey that I'm on today.
of course.
And I'll tell you why. Because one of the things that happened that I saw her is at when she turned 50, she was laid off. Very similar to myself. The story kind of
Mm,
replayed itself. But as I was getting ready to turn 50, I was throwing myself this birthday party because I remember that at 50, when she was laid off, my mom decided, nobody wants me. I'm old.
mm,
I'm out to pasture. And I remember always thinking, here's someone who's smart and beautiful. I mean, she's a former beauty queen and
mm,
studied very, very intelligent, has a master's, and yet she didn't see her goodness. She didn't see all of her gifts. And I
mhm,
just thought, I'm not going to let anybody else define myself. And
mm,
I I want to do it differently. So of course, that was the other piece that because of what I saw that she went through, I wanted to redefine that and show her as well. Listen, I know that maybe you saw that, but I want you to know that because of the example you set for me, I'm here. Because
mm,
of what I know that you struggled with, I've decided to not let that define me and
mm.
rewrite the story for both of us. Now, in the last few years, about 3 years, she fell and broke her pelvis in five
Oh,
places, and she
oh
was
my
living in
goodness.
Atlanta at the time. My sister lives in Atlanta, but as my sister continues to travel a lot and do a lot of different things, she couldn't really spend a lot of time with her. So I decided that this was a really great opportunity since I'm home and I'm working from home that she could come up here and we can kind of explore a different relationship, more
Mm-hmm.
of companions and fun and friendship, especially because I definitely could use a mom here, but she could also use the company of people that are surrounding her with love. She has the early stages of dementia as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, it's not easy to live with your mom at
I
a certain
know.
age.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we make it work, and once again, I'm incredibly fortunate. My husband is just the incredible individual that he is, right? And so he steps in, and of course he
That's
can do
awesome.
no wrong, right? Because
Mm.
he's just wonderful.
Boy, does that sound familiar. My
Yeah,
my
right.
mom had Alzheimer's too. And so it's like this
Yeah,
slow death. For 10 years,
yeah.
you have
Oh,
them
yeah, yeah.
just, this vibrant woman that she used to be
Hmm.
slips away in front of your eyes. It's just so
Yeah,
painful to watch.
yeah. And I know that, for myself, I've been so um happy that I've been able to get to a place in my own journey, in my own personal development, where I know that there's so many different things that I can do, right?
Hmm.
We don't have to grow old, but we can live life welderly as individuals who are
Oh,
welderly.
interesting. Uh-huh.
And I have the resources. My gosh, have I met some incredible individuals through the podcast and my business. So now
Hmm.
I can take those resources and help her. Not that I have all the answers, but if I need answers,
Hmm.
I have a plethora of people that I can go to.
Yes, it's so good to have friends. And
It
so,
is.
yeah, a network, a collaboration. Wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yep.
Wow. And it's so important. It's wonderful to be able to spend time with our loved ones as they age. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for that time that I had with my mom and my dad too. My
Mm,
dad and
yeah.
I were very close in the end too. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had him till he was almost 103.
Oh, you're so fortunate.
I
That's
know.
amazing. That's so
I
great.
know.
I
Oh my
love
gosh.
that. I love that.
We had
Yeah.
the best conversations when I would be taking him to his doctor appointments, his checkups and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's when he could hear the best because we were in an enclosed car,
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
he could hear.
You
So
can
yeah,
hear.
I'd ask
Yeah.
him, how was life growing up, and what about,
Mm,
what were your
yeah.
experiences? And just hearing those stories was just amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I think for me that's probably been one of the greatest gifts is when
Mm-hmm.
my dad got sick, being able to be the person that helped to usher that transition for him
Uh-huh.
to out of this life. And it was the biggest honor I've had to be able to sit with him and tell stories and listen to him and just even hold his hand when
Yep.
he was the one who was afraid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I was scared out of my mind
Mm-hmm.
and felt terribly unqualified. And the fear, of course, of losing him was grand. But at the end of the day, he said to me, and this is the new podcast. This is why it's called what it's called. He said to me, honey, you are so brave that you're here. And I remember thinking, no, I'm not.
Oh, wow.
No, I am not. I don't even know like if I can keep it together.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, you show up even when you're scared, and
Wow.
that's a brave move." And I thought, "Oh, okay." So it
What a
was the lesson,
gift.
right? It was the lesson that, and every time that I'm afraid, and every time that I don't think, I think, okay, what is the brave move that I can make? And that
Mm.
may just be, all right, I'm going to sit in this hotel room or this hospital room and just be hold
Wow.
space. Yeah.
What a gift he gave you. And just to have that
Mm.
conversation with him like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Oh.
again, we have to pay attention to the little moments and the things that
Mm-hmm.
transpire because sometimes we don't see those moments that are happening right in front of our eyes.
So many people are too busy to
Yeah.
notice.
Hmm.
We keep ourselves so,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's a badge of honor for some people to be that
Oh,
busy. And
yeah,
hey, by the
no.
way, if you look at Julia 35, that was me.
And it was me before too.
Yeah.
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 Yep. You
Hmm.
don't get a badge. You don't win
Nope.
for
Nope.
being
You're
busy.
going to burn out of anything, and then you're going to not be very kind in the relationships around you because you're just
Right.
cranky.
Right. Right. And I believe the greatest gift you can give someone is to make them feel seen and heard, to really
Mm,
listen to them.
yeah, yeah. I love that.
Mm.
Mhm.
Julie, can I change gears on you?
Go for it. Go for it. I love
Well,
it.
awesome. Well, towards the end of my episodes, I love to ask, what's your favorite cocktail or glass of wine?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, this is a multi-layer question, I think,
Okay,
because
you are my people.
I it's so funny. I there hasn't been a bottle of wine that I really can say I hate. Perhaps my least favorite would be uh Pinot Grigio. No, not Pinot
Yeah,
Grigio, a Chardonnay maybe.
sure. Oh
A
my gosh,
Chard.
you are my people.
Yeah, so I'm like, Chardonnay probably would be my last choice.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I would say I've gotten a little adventurous, especially during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Our cocoon, our good friends, we decided that once a week we would have a bartending competition and come up with different drinks. and
So
and
fun.
so we got to taste a lot of different things. Lately, what my girlfriends and I had a girls' weekend about a month ago in the Cape Cod, and we created. Apparently, there is a drink called this, but it's called the Cape Codder,
Okay.
and it has a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of rum, a dash of tequila, and some
Ooh,
sparkling. I mean, it was like a concoction. It really was,
yeah.
like because we were sitting on the beach, but it was really fun and it was very refreshing, and it had a couple of
Uh-huh.
bubbles and a little tartness and sweetness at the same time. So that was fun.
Yes. It
Yeah,
sounds delightful.
yeah,
A
I know.
perfect beach concoction.
It was a fall beach concoction because it
Mm,
wasn't hot, but it wasn't cool yet. It was just
yeah.
nice enough to sit on the beach and soak up the sun and
Mm.
dance with some girlfriends. And
Mhm.
really, we had the beach to ourselves, which was perfect. And then we
Oh,
built a
wow.
fire at night, so it was perfect.
Mm. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, so I also always ask about a favorite memory shared with girlfriends. Was that it?
That would probably be one. I
Yeah.
think every year we try to create these memories with my friends, specifically because we know life is very fleeting and can turn on a dime. So we really prioritize coming together, creating the memories, and not waiting till, you know, whatever special date or target time. Who cares that maybe in the future we'll have more time, but maybe this is all
You
there
don't
is.
know.
So do
Hmm.
it today. Don't put it off.
Mm-hmm. I recently heard that spending time with your girlfriends is as important to your health, if not more so, than quitting smoking.
Yes, there is a new research that talks about the power of sisterhood, whether it be by
Mm-hmm.
blood or by choice, and how it really does lengthen your life. And there's another study that talks about that loneliness is one of the
Mm.
most detrimental things to your health as well. So surround yourself, find the community, find the girlfriends, and create these memories.
Amen. Julie, is there anything I haven't asked you that you'd love to share?
Oh my God, Penny, you are so good. Well, first of all, you keep the conversation going, and I love that. Um, no, I mean we've talked the gamut. I think
Nice.
um the only thing that I probably didn't talk about that if anybody knows me knows that I always bring it into the conversation is I've been doing a pilgrimage in Spain called the Camino de Santiago, and I
You
highly recommend
have.
people to go. It's one of the best experiences. And if you like wine, Penny, oh my goodness, that's another place to go.
Oh, nice. That's one wine region I have not yet visited.
Well,
Been to Valencia.
Rioja is fantastic. And
Yes.
Rioja, surprisingly enough, my husband and I had been doing, you hike throughout the day. And then the first time that we got into Rioja, we were staying at one of the pilgrim albergues and we decided to go to town to have dinner. And we ordered a bottle of wine, which is incredibly inexpensive. You
Mm.
typically have 10 euros. They bring you this whole bottle. And plus your meal, it's $10, includes everything.
Wow.
So we're sitting there having a good time, and then all of a sudden, when they brought us the wine, it was white wine, and I thought, no, 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 we want red, Rioja. And he said, well, we make white wine in Rioja, and I thought, oh, okay, and it was
Yeah.
fantastic. It was a great blend.
Yum. It sounds delightful. And what an experience.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
How long
if
did it
anybody,
take?
so I've been doing it in stages.
Okay.
The total mile or kilometers, if you're
Uh-huh.
starting from the main place where most people start, which is the Pyrenees Mountains, is from there to Santiago de Compostela, 758 kilometers.
Dang.
My girlfriend and I did the first stage of it, and we did about 130 kilometers. She's a doctor, and at the time, of course, I was working my corporate career, so we couldn't take
Hmm.
that much time off.
How long did that piece take you?
About 7 days.
Okay.
You know, and again, my girlfriend and I are what we call Camino turtles. We do not go these people that want to walk 25 to 30 miles
Oh
daily,
my
no,
gosh.
thank you. I mean, I'm
No.
sorry, kilometers daily, but even at that,
Yeah.
you're doing a marathon every day.
Yeah.
So we really went at our own pace. If we felt like stopping earlier or if there was something that really interested us in the towns that we were coming into, we would wait. So my husband and I did about 150. So I've done about 270 kilometers and I'm not quite at halfway. So I've been doing it in stages. I was supposed to go back in 2020, but you know what happened then.
Oh yeah.
And of course, the next time I had anticipated going was 2023, but that's when my mom broke her pelvis. So the plan
Oh,
is 2026. And now I
okay.
have the flexibility to go and stay for as long as I can. Now, most people tend to do it in anywhere between 35 to 40 days for if they're
Oh,
doing the French route. You can
okay.
do the Portuguese route, which I think is about 12 days and obviously goes from Portugal to northern Spain. But
Hmm.
I highly recommend it. Go at your own pace and see what you can do. There's so many different videos and people who can lead you. And
Hmm.
if anybody's interested, I'm always happy to talk about it. I have a couple episodes of my podcast in which
Oh,
I've talked to
fun.
people about the journey. And of course, I kept a blog throughout that. So
Nice.
if anybody wants to read some of those adventures, they can too.
I imagine the people that you met along the way it was
Oh, that's
phenomenal.
another, that could be another episode. I mean, some of
Hmm.
the people that we met, and I still keep in touch with a lot of them because you become
Mm.
a family. It's that community, is
Hmm.
that,
Doing
um,
something together that's
yeah.
so difficult.
And you're just walking and you're talking. A lot of times you get to know
Yeah.
people, and it's fun because there are certain, you may not be staying in the same place, you may not know them very well, but you end up seeing a lot of the same people when you get to the same towns
Sure.
and you got to hang out. And of course, Spain, the food is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My husband and I, one of our favorite trips ever was to Napa Sonoma wine country.
I love it. I love wine country. Yeah. Yeah.
And
amazing.
one of the days that we did 7 wineries in one day, and we started seeing the same people at the next stop.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you become
That's what
friends with them.
happens.
Yeah.
You do
Well,
make
wine brings
friends.
people together too.
It sure does. It sure does. And anytime that you want to come up to Connecticut, Penny, we have a great Connecticut wine trail. So come on
Really?
over. Yeah. We have some
Nice.
amazing wineries. Yeah.
Well, I haven't explored those either.
Yeah. Listen, amazing. I host an
Nice.
event once a year. It's a women's retreat, and it's just a time to come together. And we
Uh-huh.
really envision for our next year. We put together our plans. We decide how we want to show up and plan for our future selves. And then we
Uh-huh.
also have a little bit of wine. We go to a couple of the wineries and
Oh my
stay at
gosh.
this amazing, quaint conference center. It's an old inn here in Connecticut
Uh-huh.
in a very quaint town. And oh, we just have a blast.
Oh,
Yeah.
I also do a retreat for women. Mine is
Oh,
called Wine Camp.
oh, when is that? What is
The
that?
next one is July 30th through August 2nd.
Oh my gosh, tell me. Yes,
Yeah.
please let me know.
Okay,
Oh,
I'll
this
send
sounds
you a
like, yeah,
link.
this sounds right up my alley, and
It's
I'll
so
I'll
fun.
share it with my girlfriends
Oh,
too. That sounds
wonderful.
amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're going to the Finger Lakes region of New York. So we're going to tour some
Oh,
wine region
so
up there.
amazing. Oh my gosh, there is a winery that I've been wanting to go up there. They
Yeah.
actually have they have cabins where you can stay in.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
I
rented out an entire resort on
Oh,
Seneca
you have.
Lake.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, you had me at wine.
Oh, that's so
Amazing.
fun. I'll send you that link and so you
Yes,
can check
please
it
do
out.
so. And
Bring
Penny,
your
thank you
girlfriends.
so. Yeah, I will. We haven't planned our next year. Maybe this is the event that we go
Oh,
to.
there you go. Fun, fun, fun.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for having me. I've had such a
Thank you
fun
so
time this
much.
afternoon.
Me too. It's great getting to know you a little bit and hearing your
Mm,
journey. I think we're so much aligned and have a lot in
mm.
common.
You're a good podcaster. You've got your stuff together. That's how it should be. Anyway, thank you again, Penny. All right.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers.